Welcome to today's lecture. This is part 8. I am Professor Lewis Shark. Thank you for joining us, and we will begin now. With over 350 years of history, Boston is known for its contribution to the American Revolution. Charming residences and centers of learning. In fact, Boston symbolizes early American history. Massachusetts was settled in 1620. It was home to the Pilgrims who celebrated the first Thanksgiving there. Massachusetts was one of the original 13 colonies and the site of many important events in the Revolutionary War. Boston is the heart of Massachusetts. The narrow 18th century cobblestone streets of some sections of Boston are a contrast to the modern high-rise buildings, with a student population of around 250,000. Boston's elite universities play host to young people from every state in the U.S., in addition to many foreign countries. Boston is also called America's European city. To experience this European atmosphere, start with the area of Boston known as Beacon Hill. Stroll across Boston Common, a park in the very heart of Boston, bounded by Tremont, Charles Boston, and Beacon Streets. The Common is a place to go people watching, while enjoying outdoor musicians and the refreshments of push cart vendors. Within the Common is the public garden. This is a perfect place to sit on the grass and enjoy the reflecting waters of the lagoon. Northeast of the lagoon, just past the Frog Pond, is the Visitor Information Center. Using the center as a starting point, tourists follow a red line, the Freedom Trail, that winds for 3 miles through Boston and takes them to 16 colonial and revolutionary sites. These sites include the Old North Church, where Paul Revere began his midnight ride, the Old South Meeting House, where the Boston Tea Party plans were made, and Bunker Hill, the site of an important battle with the British. Just to the north of Boston Common is the Charles Street Meeting House. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places, it is known for its distinct but simple architecture. Originally a church, the Charles Street Meeting House has seen many political, literary, and social gatherings since its completion in 1807. Across the street from the meeting house is the Church of the Advent. This Episcopal church was completed in 1888 in a Gothic Revival style. Its interior is very elegant. Its small garden is lovely, and its bells are renowned for their sweet sound. The other well-known church in the area is the Park Street Church, built in 1809. On July 4th, 1831, the anthem "America" was first sung here. To the north of the Beacon Hill area is Government Center, the center of local government and political activity. This is a neighborhood characterized by office buildings and streets filled with pedestrians and automobiles. Boston City Hall and City Plaza are the hubs of the area and the location of summertime concerts and public celebrations. Just behind City Hall is a Faneuil Hall. In 1740, the merchant Peter Faneuil offered to build a marketplace for the city. The people of Boston agreed, and Faneuil Hall was built in 1742. During the American Revolutionary War, the hall was used by many famous American patriots, including Samuel Adams, to proclaim America's freedom from Britain. Thus, Faneuil Hall is often called the Cradle of Liberty. The Old West Church was built with a wood frame in 1737. It was burned by the British in 1775 and rebuilt with red brick. Concerts featuring the famous pipe organ are offered to the public. This is the Harrison Gray Otis House at 141 Cambridge Street, built in 1796. The house is considered very representative of homes in the 18th century. The northern point of the city of Boston offers a view of the Charles River and the many wharves that serve the city, known as the North End. This is the most densely populated section of the city. The North End is noted for its bustling streets and as a place where one can hear English and Italian being spoken on the street. Hanover Street is the widest and perhaps the straightest street in the North End. This street has the area's largest concentration of restaurants, cafes, and bakeries. Paul Revere's house is in the North End. He lived here from 1770 to 1800. On the night of April 18, 1775, Paul Revere rode his horse through the countryside, warning people that the British troops were on the move. The Washington Memorial Garden is also in the North End. The garden has beautiful rose gardens and is known for its historic importance to the city since colonial times. This 18th century garden that rests in a 21st century urban setting shows a contrast typical of the atmosphere in Boston. Boston has long been one of America's busiest ports, along with exhibits on a maritime history. The Central Wharf boasts a New England aquarium. There are more than 18,000 fish, birds, and mammals on exhibit. Near the aquarium is a waterfront park. The park offers visitors a view of the harbor and waves, and a place to walk dogs or get some afternoon sun. No visit to Boston would be complete without a visit to Cambridge, just across the Charles River. Cambridge is Boston's intellectual neighborhood. Harvard University, America's leading school of higher education, and the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology are its chief residents. Founded in 1632, Harvard College is a famous Ivy League school that has seen many of its graduates enter and excel in such areas as politics, business, and the arts. A walk through Harvard Square is a fine way to gain a feel for the pulse of Harvard University. Founded in 1861, MIT has dedicated itself to study and research based on scientific principles. Its motto is Mens et Manus, that is, mind and hand. MIT has played a major role in scientific research for more than a century. Boston is alive with activity all year round. It is a city that cannot forget its impressive and historic past, but it is also the modern focal point of hardworking people and dedicated students. That is the conclusion of Lecture 8 for today. I'm Professor Lewis Sharp. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again.